Okay, I've learned that there's lag time, so hopefully I'm just smiling this time. Hi everyone, it's Tea with Mama D, and oh my gosh, I have my tea, but it's over here. Okay, this is so me. Enjoy the view for 1 sec. Okay, I'm back. So as you can see, I am at the beach this week, and it is a trip, a family trip, because our oldest two graduated from college. So we are celebrating. It's been planned for a while, and it's amazing the timing that God has for everything. Because I also recently just lost someone, probably one of the most important people in my life. Besides my husband, my kids, and I do have close family, but not too long ago, I would say most definitely one of my biggest supporters, prayer warriors, mom, sister, best friend rolled into one. And also incredible joys. You know, our third turned 21. We had two graduating college. We had wonderful family visit from family in town, and this incredible family vacation planned. And the beach is one of my favorite places to be. I absolutely love the ocean, the water, anything about it. So there's a little about me and what's going on in my life right now. And I wanted to share that with you guys because it really hits home with what I want to talk about this morning and continue our talk about motivation. Because motivation is a topic that keeps coming up over and over and over again, whether it's parents themselves, so adults of all ages, parents asking for young children, for teens, for adult children. And I really, what's been on my heart a lot to share with you guys is two things. One, motivation obviously is different for every person. So let's break that down. And I'm going to use an analogy here because I love to do this. So you're going to learn this about me. I love to look for seashells. I'm at the ocean. I love, love, love looking, wandering, walking, looking for seashells. But your perspective and what you find is different every time, right? So let me start here. Yesterday, my husband and I went out, set up our stuff on the beach for everybody so we could kind of claim our spot. And it was early, and we just started wandering and looking for seashells. And our perspective and our goal this morning is all about perspective and goals, because those are key for motivation. And our goal and our perspective was, oh, let's see if we can find cool shells, right? We started out just, hey, what can we find? My husband goes, oh my gosh, look at this. And I want to show you the shell he found. So he found this amazing shell right here, if you can see it. Pretty big, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I was, oh my gosh, honey, that's beautiful. Then we found, I can't remember who of us found this, but we found this one as well, right? Just gorgeous, beautiful color, whole, not chipped, just perfect, right? And then I found, one more of these, okay, in a little bit different size. And before I know it, between the two of us, we had found six, like our family, and they were all different sizes, right? They were all different sizes. And then we had 7 and 8. Well, that was amazing, right? And we were so excited, and we're still looking for shells. And then a really just nice trio of people who we met. Shout out to Martha. I don't know if she'll ever watch this. God just put these wonderful people in front of us, and we just started chatting with them. And our perspective and our goal changed for the morning. Our goal became talking to these wonderful people, sharing with them, even exchanging some information. And then we went about our day, right? We went and came up stairs. We were so excited with our find. It was wonderful. Then later in the day, I went boogie boarding. Yes, no, there's no film on that. So just so you know. By the way, my tea is in my my cool cup today at the beach, in my Yeti. So anyway, as I'm going in and out, and yes, I love boogie boarding and I love body surfing, and it was amazing because in the Atlantic here, it's a lot warmer than in the Pacific. I started noticing as I was walking out and the tide was going back out, some of those same seashells just rolling and rolling and rolling. And I was so excited. Okay, I want to show you. Look if you can see how many of those I ended up with just yesterday, and just walking in and out of the ocean after my husband and I found the initial like 8 of them. Absolutely amazing. And I could have gotten more. I could have gotten more. Do you think that my perspective had changed? Actually, yeah, it had, because originally I thought to myself, okay, we may only find 1 or 2. There are a lot of people walking. Oh, are there really a lot of seashells that are whole and beautiful? Wow, my perspective completely changed. And so did my goal. So I was more motivated and less motivated at the same time. I wasn't as motivated to find these, excuse me. Let me take a sip of my tea. But now I was motivated to find other unique shells. So what I was seeing and what I was looking for changed. My goal changed. We also learned from those wonderful people that we met that somebody had been finding some sand dollars down further. So this morning, my husband and I had a little bit different goal. I had kind of an emotional morning, just praying and really feeling my aunt's presence. The beach was one of our favorite places together, to laugh, to cry, to talk for hours and hours and hours. And it was wonderful. My husband and I went down to take a walk, and we thought, hey, let's go look for those sand dollars. Totally different perspective, totally different goal, completely different goal. And I was also thinking about how I wanted to share with you all this morning, and what I wanted to share, what was on my heart and perspective. And I started to look at things differently. So here are some of the things that I got coming back. Broken pieces, but gorgeous, but beautiful. See this with the pink and this broken piece and the ridges and the orange, just stunning. And I saw things completely differently, and it made me think about things completely differently. When I started out, we were looking for these shiny, beautiful, and we still love them, shells and big shells. But then we also were finding some beautiful treasures like this. And like this, which I just love. It reminds me of so many of us, right? How we get worn and broken. And I just love it when they're like this, and it's kind of flat, and you can see through, and you can see the spirals, and you can see the holes, and you can see life. Here's a gray worn one, but so beautiful. Found it in an inlet, tumbling around. And then I saw this. That sure does not look exciting, does it? But I had decided to change my perspective again. I was getting lower and looking closely to the ground. And I noticed that, and I'll bring that back up in a minute. And I also noticed these others that have kind of a brown and gray. If there's water on it, it looks more brown, but these are a little gray now. And I hadn't seen those before. And I held it up to my husband and I said, wow, I haven't seen this coloring before. And he didn't know what to say because he had seen a gabillion of them. And he was like, okay. And then he goes, yeah, I saw some of those yesterday. Just very diplomatic, very kind. And as we kept walking and I was looking lower, I noticed them everywhere. I hadn't seen them before. And he said, yeah, I was wondering why you said that, because I saw them everywhere yesterday. I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking for that. That wasn't my goal. My goal yesterday was not getting down and close. My goal was not looking for the small, inconsequential, these small ones, right? Necessarily. I had a different goal, and therefore I had a different perspective on things. Was one right or wrong? No. There's no right or wrong. It's just, what is your goal and what is your perspective then? And your goal will change your perspective. But today, as I told you, my perspective was very different. And so as I was looking closely at this, I decided to look around the side. And I have to tell you, this is one of my most exciting finds. I want you to look inside there. Do you see how gorgeous that is? This is so boring. Like if you're walking on the beach and people see this just broken piece and it's just, oh yeah, it's like an old clamshell, whatever. Look at this. I don't know if you can even see the details of the layers in there and how beautiful it is. I just absolutely love this piece. It reminded me of all the layers and of the beauty that is within something that looks so rugged and rough and broken. And yes, isn't that all of us? And when we talk about motivation, we talk about how to motivate ourselves, or we always talk about how to motivate others. It's not about that. It's about your goal and your perspective. Those are choices. It is always a choice. How are you going to look at something? Are you going to look at it like this? Are you going to look at this and just walk past it and, be okay with that? That's okay. Because what's your goal? Well, if my goal this morning is to walk for an hour and just take in and look out and take in God's beauty of creation as I walk and let my mind wander and think, then walking right past this is totally fine. It's incredible. What's your goal? What's your perspective? How are you looking at that? But if you go, oh man, I could have just missed so many seashells. Look at what they collected yesterday and look what they had. And wow. Number one, your motivation is now shot because you're looking at something that it had nothing to do with your goal and your perspective, right? But if your goal and your perspective, like it was this morning, was my goal, my perspective, walking back, was what can I see when I really just look? And we would stop and just look. What can I see? What can I find when I just look at what's there? I had a different goal this morning, a different perspective. And I was letting my mind wander and how to share this topic with you all. Guys, I want to end with a practical, okay? I always want to give you guys practical hands-on. And here's what I'm trying to share with you and how to apply it practically. It is this: no matter how young your children are, or how old your children are, or how young or wise you are, can you tell I'm getting a little older? I like that wise thing. What matters is your goal. And that comes from that individual. As a parent, that does not come from you. That should not ever come from you. What can come from you is to help your children, help those close to you, help those that God has put in your path to get some different perspective maybe. But that does not mean you tell. That means you help to show, to guide, right? To mentor. And here's the thing, maybe you're needing some perspective. Maybe you're feeling a lack of motivation. Boy, do I understand that. Changing your perspective, maybe that is just going somewhere that's completely different, like the ocean or the mountains or the prairie, or I think there's a song. I feel like there's a song I just said. But do you understand, changing your perspective, get a change in environment? Maybe it's not getting away like a lot of people want to. Maybe it's simply looking at what you have in front of you in a different way. just like I did yet from yesterday to this morning. How are you looking at it? Right? And we can help change that perspective, or we can change it's a choice, change our perspective. But we also need to begin with the end in mind. We need to know, what are our goals? What's the goal for today? Maybe the goal was just to be, just to experience, just to walk calmly. That's okay. Then don't be upset when you miss these. That wasn't your goal. Don't be upset that you walked right past this thing and didn't notice the gorgeous, beautiful layers in there. Okay, I know that there's so much out there. I understand that. I love that my husband and I, between us, are finding different broken ones and gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful whole ones. But what's our perspective? What are we looking for? What is our goal? You want to talk about being motivated? How motivating is it if you just say to yourself, this is my goal and that's okay. And I'm going to make sure that I recognize that a change in perspective not only may change my goal, but it might change the way I see my goal, right? It'll help change how I reach that goal. And you want to talk about motivating? When we all know what our end is, wow. And a perspective and a goal can change, like yesterday, it can change within hours. Sometimes it's years. So if you're feeling unmotivated, if your kids are unmotivated, talk to them. Give them a change of perspective. Shake things up. Take away their phone. Honestly, take away their phone or electronics, and you give up your phone and electronics for a day, for a weekend. Find a place where you can go where there's no reception. Shake up the perspective, right? What's your goal? Think about your goal. What's your goal for your family? What's your goal for you? What is your goal? Bring back that motivation and really help to guide your children. If parents, guide your children by helping them reach their goal. And keep in mind, a lot of times when they're younger, they're not going to be able to voice this, but their goal is to please you. Know your children, right? Some kids' goals are not to please you. Some kids' goals are to figure things out on their own. That's okay too. All of it's okay. But if you know what their motivation, if you know what their goal is, whether they realize it or not, it's going to help you guide them. But talk to them. What do they voice as their goal? What do they want to accomplish this summer? What do they want to do this summer? And you need to be okay with it. If they say, I want to have fun, awesome. Help them have fun. And along the way, you can give them different perspective. And as a parent, if you feel they need different perspective and growth in an area, how exciting. Then you can figure out ways to give it to them. I know I'm over my time. Oh my gosh, I could keep talking to you guys forever and ever and ever, and I'm not going to do it because I promise to keep these short. All right. I really hope this has helped you this morning. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, think about your goals, and think about your perspective and get a change in perspective. Have a great morning. Have a great week. I'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.